Hello, hello, hello. I know. I'm working on it. I know. I'm working on it. I'm supposed to be live at 3:33, but it's 3:50, so it is what it was. I'm live now. So let's hope that you are getting your notifications that's letting you know that your girl is live right now. Let's hope that's what's going on for you. Because let me tell you, I got so much I want to share. Hey, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. Yes, the community wash coaching is back in 2022. We are back with the vocabulary. We are back. We are back. We are back. Hello, happy new year. What's cracking with you? For those of us, happy Gregorian New Year. I put it that way because we all know that the real New Year is coming. But happy Gregorian New Year. How you doing? What's happening with you? How was life? What's up? That's what I'm saying though. So I'm here with this message and share it with your friends. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends, let them know. I'm here to tell you on how to kick some addictions. So, you know what? Normally I would go live on my phone too. So let's see how this works. Because I'm on YouTube and I'm on the phone. Well, I'm on YouTube right now. So let's see how we gonna do with the phone. Let's see if folk, because I was just gonna do this as a pod. I should just do it as a podcast. Um, nah, let's see. Let's see. I should. Oh no. Oh no. Let's see if we can do them both with the side by side. Let's see. My phone be doing me dirty, y'all. My phone be doing me dirty with the sliding and the whatnots. It be doing me dirty. Be doing me dirty a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. All right. All right. We're gonna do this. So we live on YouTube, y'all. Hey. I'm going live on IG. So hey, hey, hey. Hello. Hey IG. How y'all doing? How you doing? How's your new year been? How you doing? I'm sure I just popped up out of nowhere, made little to no announcement, except for on YouTube. I did make an announcement on YouTube to let YouTube know that I was going live like 30 minutes ago, but I just started it. So how y'all doing? How y'all doing? So I'm waiting on a few of y'all to come on in. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is 2022, y'all. So as I am, I'm showing up. Your favorite cousin, your homie, your home diggity. I'm showing up with some tips and tools on how to live life a little bit better. So if you're not familiar, pop on over to the CWC Education Station on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe. If you're not familiar with that, come on over, come on over, come on over. But I'm gonna wait for a few more folk to come on in because y'all be coming in and it's sad that everybody was on lines right now. And I'm like, oh, everybody's online right now. Let me say what's up to everybody online right now. How y'all? How y'all doing? What is my silly behind doing this time? Not really nothing at all. I'm not even being silly. I got some real words of wisdom on some addictions and stuff. And give some updates because, I be out here living life and I don't be telling nobody about it, especially on Facebook or Instagram. I just be living. And in living life, I figured I should share some stuff. So, waiting on a few of y'all to come on in and say what's up. Say what's happening to y'all. So I'm on the CWC Education Station on YouTube as well as IG. So this is what happened, right? So I was living life, and a part of living life, I had got sick. I got sick, y'all, from eating food. I know I'm stupid. Don't judge me yet. So I got sick from eating food. And when I got sick from eating food, I also decided that it was finally time to give up a 20-year addiction. Yeah, I said it. 20-year addiction. Who has that much time? I did. I had 20 years of this addiction. And how did I remember that it was a 20-year addiction? Because I'm the one, me, who decided to start the addiction when she could afford it. I'm not one. Hello, hello, hello. Hey, welcome to this live. So I'm talking about how I just kicked a 20-year addiction for about, what day is it now? So we're going roughly into about day 16, something like that. Something like that. No, today's Wednesday, 17. So day 17. But even in counting the days, I wanted to share this experience because it's not easy. It ain't easy to get over some things. And it takes a lot of mental preparation in order to start to let things go. So if you don't know, now you know. Like, share, subscribe, click, tell your friends. We about to get into how to get over some stuff. And it's not easy. It really ain't. So 2022, I'm telling y'all the truth. I've always been telling you the truth. But hey, your favorite cousin Trish right here. YouTube and IG. Both right here. So, hey, how you doing? How you doing? How you doing? I like this. All right, neither here nor there. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about the wounded part of it. A lot of people don't realize that I teach a trauma class. I've been teaching this trauma class for 5 cycles. As a matter of fact, announcement. It's a matter of fact announcement. So what we're doing with the community wash, hey, and Shade du Jour, hey, we are partnering together. We're going to actually run the trauma class back to back. So another reason why I was hoping for a whole bunch of people to get in here and be, hey, how you doing? What's cracking? You laughing? Absolutely, because I am giving away a free seat to the Trauma Goddess class. I'm giving away a free seat to the Trauma Goddess Masterclass. I am giving away a free seat to the Trauma Goddess class in March. Yes, I am in March. We are going to actually run 2 cycles back to back of the Trauma Goddess Masterclass. So if you was talking to your friends and you was like, girl, she was out here just getting over stuff, just living her life. She got all of these good things coming to her because she took Trisha's class that one time and I ain't been able to get in. Let me tell you. Tell your homies. I'm doing a giveaway. Absolutely doing a giveaway. I'll tell you the terms of the giveaway in a minute, but I'm doing a whole giveaway. And the giveaway is going to be on February 22nd, 2022. Yes, 22. 22. 22. I know. Bringing folk together. I'm special. All right, so I'm trying real hard to behave, y'all. But I will be giving a giveaway. The free seat for the March class will be announced on February 22nd, 2022. Yes, so 2222. I will be giving away the free seat for the March class. So how do you get in? Well, if you don't know, go over to my Etsy shop. Yup. Today at midnight. Free shipping. Orders over 35. Okay, I'm lying. Free shipping on everything. So today at midnight, free shipping on everything until February 22nd, 2022. I know. I'm out here just doing the most. So announcements. So if you don't know about Shade du Jour, go on over to Shade du Jour on Etsy, etsy.com. You can search Shade du Jour, one word. If you don't know, also go to the link tree in my bio on my IG page. It's there. I'm an herbalist, alchemist. I do the things. I does all of the creations. I helps people through the stuff. So back to the point of my life. Back to the point. So if you watching, back to the point of my life, I'm trying to get my shit together. So in getting my stuff together in 2022, I'm giving away a free class. So I'm running 2 cycles back to back, one in February 22, one in March 22 of the Trauma Goddess Master Class. Yes, 3 cycles. I'm sorry, 2 cycles back to back. Now, these 2 cycles that I'm running back to back ain't for the faint of heart. If you've been taking my courses, you already know that we gets down to the get down. We get you through the getting through. We give you the actual tools that you need to be the trauma goddess that you are. It's that simple. It ain't me just telling you what you should do. No, these are things that you already have within you. And now you have the tools to bring them out, bring them to fruition. And here we go. You moving forward, keep it pushing. It can't nobody stop your shine. That's what I'm talking about. But give it away. Free seat for the class. Free seat for the class for March 2022. We'll be running 2 cycles back to back, February and March. I will make it further announcements on Tuesday, for real. Not on Wednesday, on Tuesday, for real. All right, so what I was talking about was I had literally just broke a cycle of a 20-year addiction. 20-year addiction. 20 years, damn. 20-year addiction, y'all. Just broke the cycle of a 20-year addiction. And in breaking a cycle of a 20-year addiction, I waited until I was old enough to start my addiction. Yeah, I did. I waited until I was old enough to start my addiction. That's what happened. So I was old enough to purchase it. I started my own addiction. I broke the cycle. And this is how I did it. I had to go through different building blocks of it. So when I discussed my Trauma Goddess Masterclass, like I said, it's not a class for the faint of heart. Hey, Videth, how you doing? So it's not a class. Just in case you missed the announcements, I'm on YouTube as well. On the CWC Education Station on YouTube, and I'm live on IG, only because I wanted to make sure that both my devices was working. I was supposed to do a podcast with this too, but I didn't get the laptop up in advance. Neither here nor there. I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff in this live, and the first things first, I'm going back, recapping, because I want to make sure everybody get the information. So going back, recapping. So this is what it is. Share it with your friends. Let them know I'm live right now, because I'm about to tell you how to kick a 20-year addiction, okay? How to kick it out the ballpark. Like it wasn't even a part of your life at one point, which I'll be honest is difficult, but you can make it look like it wasn't a part of your life at one point. You can make it look like it, but it's a little bit difficult. So here we go. Now, first things first, when you are talking about giving up addictions, you need to really identify where it comes from. Now, I'll be honest. Absolutely take the class. You will grow. Absolutely. And you'll grow in places that you didn't even know growth could happen. I definitely make sure I point out at all times, that the Trauma Goddess Masterclass is for you. But again, I'm giving away a free seat. How do you get your free seat? Again, Etsy shop, Shade de Jour, tonight at midnight, everything is free shipping. Yes, everything is free shipping. So you purchase, you're entered to win. It's that simple. The drawing will be done on 2/22/22. I know, 2/22/22. So for the March class. Now remember, I'm giving away a seat for the March class. Now, at midnight tonight, the February class will also be available, and please feel free to take that course. And yes, if you purchase the February course before February 22nd, obviously, you will be entered to win a free seat for the March course as well. See, that's how we doing things, always with reciprocity. And I always want to be very clear with the community wash, everything you put in, you definitely get out. So if you are purchasing a seat for the class, we are also investing in your business as well. So do not get it twisted. There is always reciprocity that is occurring here with me. That's what we do at the Community Wash. We donation and barter system. That's how we roll. All right. So I keep trying to get through it. All right. So I got through this part. That's the course information. Shade de Jour. Get over to the website. Now, when you're talking about kicking a 20-year addiction, we ain't talking about crack, we ain't talking about heroin. I'm not talking about something that you would definitely need a facility for. I'm talking about things like cigarettes, Black and Milds, food, I'm talking about things of that nature. The reason why I'm separating the two heavier addictions is because there are some things that the herbs I'm going to tell you about just cannot curb. You just have to go through it with time, and your body has to literally relearn how to live. So let's talk about the truest fact of it all. When you are dealing with an addiction, it's mental first, physical second. I know you feel physical first and then you receive the mental complaint, but it really is mental first, physical second, and then you have your overall holistic healing. When you start to attack your different dimensions, and I'm saying this because it's important to understand as I go through this breaking cycle, because again, I talked a whole bunch of, right now we getting into it. Absolutely. Addiction equals outside validation. I'm about that life. That's where it's at. And that's exactly where we're going with it. When we're talking about that addiction, we're talking about being wounded, which is that outside validation. We're talking about those daggers, those paper cuts, those insults, those injuries, those words that can't be taken back. We're talking about all of those little digs and jabs that occurred on your personality, on your character, all of the assassination attempts that you may or may not have had. We're talking about all of that. We really are talking about all of that, but we're talking about the mental component of it all. We're talking about the emotional dealing with it all. We're talking about how you're making choices given all of that going on. And most of the time, you're making a choice from a wounded place, which means you're waiting on understanding, now devoting excuses diligently. And when I say from a wounded place, let me be very clear. When I started my addiction, when I first bought my very first pack of cigarettes 20 years ago, the wounded place was the fact that I wanted to lose weight. A lot of people didn't realize that at the time, 20 years ago, before that, even before then, you saw thin people with cigarettes. Why? Again, why? It didn't dawn on me until once I started to really go into the process of kicking the addiction, what was really going on with my body and relearning my homeostasis. It didn't dawn on me that I'm seeing these visual aids that are encouraging my outside validation that are keeping me wounded. Real talk. Real talk. I've not been able to do this for a very long time. A lot of people who've known me or known I've smoked cigarettes since I've been old enough to buy them. That was my one thing. It was like, listen, what you're not going to do is call me a quitter. You might as well light up too. That was my motto. If I'm smoking and you got a problem with it, you might as well light up too. Why? Because I'm not putting this down. This is where my little bit of sanity lies. This is where my life is leading. This is my 5 minutes I need to breathe right now. But to be honest, I wasn't even using it breathing. I wasn't using it actually decompressing my moment. I was just time filling. I was using it just to addict the behavior. I was just letting my addiction live. Let's be honest. I was just letting my addiction live. And the reason why I'm saying it that way is because I want us to be very clear when I have these discussions, when I tell people about breaking these habits, when I start to get into the 3 main herbs that you can use and literally everything that can help you to combat the craving, that can help you to live through life less anxiously. And honestly, let's keep it a buck bang. I sell a tea. Shade du jour on Etsy.com. The No Mess to Stress tea that has a few more ingredients in it, but has these main ingredients that you can just purchase as a tea bag. You can make you a whole gallon of it and keep it moving. Take you a couple shots a day and keep it moving. Otherwise, listen up, because it's about to get real with the herbs. And I brought my books with me. Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Got the reading glasses on, brought the books with me. So back to it. You're wounded. When you're wounded, you are waiting on understanding, now devoting excuses diligently. I could always find a reason why I needed a cigarette. I could always find a way to come up with the money to purchase said cigarette. I could always devote my time, my energy into exactly a screensaver. I can always devote my time and energy into my addiction because my mental capacity for overcoming the addiction wasn't there yet. I was still very much wounded. And I'll be honest with you. A lot of people get to be in my position and they're like, oh, well, yeah, it wasn't that hard. It was a fucking traumatic experience. I'm going to be honest with you. Let's hope they don't ban my life for using that word. But I'm going to be honest with you. When you decide to give up a 20-year addiction, you definitely go through withdrawal. You definitely have some mood swings. You definitely go through some physical pain. You definitely go through life in a matter of however long you want it to occur. Because at some point in time, you still got to make a mental decision. You have to start putting yourself in a position of getting over it, not through it. You still have to put yourself in a position of living on the other side of it. And I did that. Like, you're literally parting the seas, living on the other side of it. When we say over things, typically you're just blanketing it. When we say through it, it's like, yeah, I survived. But what I'm saying is you're literally parting seas and you're living on the other side of it. When you're living on the other side, the flip side, the 180 of the addiction, you can start to see exactly what the fuck happened. And this is what happened. I was wounded. I was waiting on understanding, now devoting excuses diligently. Every time I smoked that cigarette, I was curbing my appetite. The unfortunate part is I wasn't doing anything in addition to that behavior initially. Now, I'm not saying in the past 2 years I hadn't, but prior to my weight loss journey, I hadn't done anything prior to that journey to help me outside of invest in a company that was literally killing me, but giving me the message that it was saving my life because I needed to have it. Absolutely. I was suppressing. Emotions come up with that. Yeah. So the emotions that come up with it, you got to have, again, I have the course. You need to take it. You need to understand where your trauma is and how you're healing from it. But you're exactly right, Vibe. That's exactly where it goes. You have emotions that come up with that addiction that were suppressed as well. Like your body, your mind, your memory, your heart, everything has to relearn how to live without that addiction. And it's a daily, minute to minute, moment to moment battle. And I've been open and honest with my battle with those who are close to me, but I'm telling the world right now, it's a fucking battle. Like, it's not easy to overcome it without going through the Western way of throwing the kitchen sink at it. I had to really break it down to the mental, emotional, physical component to get the overall wellness and healing that I'm talking about. And I'm healed now. So when I was wounded, I was in my addiction actively. Now that I'm healed, I'm handling experiences, acknowledging lessons, and exceeding my doubts. I'm on the other side of it. All of those things of, well, what do I do if I'm not smoking a cigarette? Apparently, I can get 6 more things done in a day because now I got 25 more minutes of my time. Like, you, at some point on the other side, you still have to reap your benefit. You have to keep reeling in your natural benefit of it all. You have to realize that that addiction was suppressing your time. It was stealing from you, and you were allowing it to happen as long as you can say you gave it away. Like, I'll be honest, there's been so many times where I was written up for coming back from a break late. And what were they asking me? Well, where were you? I was smoking a cigarette. Meanwhile, it was the 6th cigarette in that whole 30-minute time frame because I'm chain smoking, because I'm dealing with a situation that I don't want to be in because I'm wounded and I'm not thinking clearly and my addiction is taking over. I'm just putting it out there. So share this message. It's everything costs time, energy, and effort. You were absolutely right, but you have to understand where to expend it, release it, receive it, and give it. Like, real talk, when you're dealing with a 20-year addiction, we're not talking about just because. We're talking about this was my justification and solution to a problem until I was able to see another one. So in the past 4 years, I had been on my journey of relapse, recovery, relapse, recovery. Everybody knows the dance. It's a song and dance. And if you're one of those people who are familiar with Narcotics Anonymous, if you're familiar with Alcoholic Anonymous, if you're familiar with any anonymous or type of group that helps to handle addictions, you understand that relapse and recovery are a song and a dance that occur to a tune that only you make. Only you know the beat to that drum. You the only one that can stop the dance at any time. Absolutely. The Western world tells you to escape, not resolve, so you can continue. Exactly. Only you know the beat. to this relapse and recovery dance. And at some point, it stops being a dance because at some point, the recovery stops being desirable. So the relapse stops happening. That's when you realize you're healed. When your relapse stops happening. And we're talking about, it can be relationships, it can be business ships, because some people are addicted to making professional friends. Some people just need to be around people, that outside validation that Vibe had mentioned before. Some people really just need to have it to say they had it, but to be honest, it's a wounded place. You're living in addiction, and it doesn't really work for you. So I'm just feeling like I should throw that out there for you, right? Feel like you should get this information for you, just you, the person who needs to see what's up in my journey. Everybody who's all up in, I'm going to give you these tools for real, because you need to have them. When you're dealing with addiction, you're really not dealing with relapse and recovery. You're dealing with wounded versus healed. And you're dealing with wounded versus healed on a moment-to-moment basis, depending on how you're mentally coping with the loss of the explanation of your time. So when I said addiction, you're allowing demeaning, delusional, inconsistent concerns to interfere, owning now. Let me go back, because a few of y'all gonna be like, what the hell? How'd she pull addiction? Let me pull addiction for you one more time. Okay, addiction is allowing demeaning, delusional, inconsistent concerns to interfere, owning now. That means that I was more than willing to allow the cigarette to be my excuse for not having something done right now, when, to be honest, it was just because I was wounded and couldn't tell the person who was injuring me that I didn't want to be bothered with them. So I created a time or space filler, a screensaver, as April said. So if I'm smoking a cigarette, you see what I'm saying? If I'm smoking a cigarette, then that means no bother me, right? Because it's the Western, Eastern, universal sign for I'm blowing off steam. I got some shit I need to deal with. When, to be honest, I could simply say that to a person and get a lot further and recoup a lot more of my time to do desirable things for me, to keep me on the healed side, to keep me handling experiences, acknowledging lessons, and exceeding doubts, to keep me in my frame of thought of moving forward in my purpose and allowing me to continue to spread the knowledge, wisdom, and lessons that I've learned with you. Because I'll be honest, there was so many times where I was late doing a live because I needed to get that cigarette in. Why did I need to get that cigarette in? Because I didn't know how long my live was going to be. I didn't know if I was going to be able to deal with the harsh comments and criticism and concerns that come with them. I ain't know none of that. And because I ain't know none of that, I needed time to just fill the space instead of providing more inconsistent content. So that if it did happen, I would have the time and the wherewithal mentally to be able to deal with it. I put myself in a wounded position. So absolutely, escape, not resolve, so you can continue. So again, the Western world, and I read the comment twice, but going back to that comment, the Western world put me in a position to where I'm supposed to fear. The reception of my information that I'm freely giving because I'm hiding behind an addiction. That don't make no goddamn sense, do it? I know. When you get on the other side, you be like, what the fuck was I doing? You know how many hours I smoked away? I could have been doing some shit. If you really calculate the time, like, my phone is recording. Otherwise, I pull my handy dandy calculator out. But feel free to do the math. I'll help you do the equation right now. At one point in time, very early in my addiction, Me and a friend, we ain't gonna say who my friend was. We were at a place of higher learning. We ain't gonna say where that place was. But what we are gonna say is we literally calculated the time, how much time, literally in minutes, that it takes to smoke a Newport 100 from the beginning to the end. Yes, we did. We hit a stopwatch. We did it 4 times in a row on different days, on different times in our day. We did the morning time, we did the winter time, we did the summertime. We also did a test run. This is how intellectual we are. I'm trying to tell you, me and my friends, we get down with real science. This is how intellectual we are. We were so fucking intellectual that we all continue to still actively participate in this addiction for another 10 to 15 fucking years. We ain't talking about actively, and my brilliant ass was in it for 20. We ain't talking about me behind my back. I tell you to my face. Tell you to my face. I actively, even doing the research after the first 6 months. Hey, how you doing? Even in doing the research after the first 6 months of actively learning how long it took me to smoke one Newport 100 from the beginning to the end, which the consistent variable time is 7 minutes. Now that is casually smoking. That is not rushing smoking. That is casually just smoking a cigarette. That's not having a conversation with the person that's smoking. That's not putting the cigarette out and relighting it. The average time to smoke a Newport 100 from beginning to end is about 7 minutes. Now, if you realize that a person who has an addiction to nicotine, hey, how you doing, boo? A person that has an addiction to nicotine, kid you not, I'm about to tell you the herbs of how to kick this nicotine addiction. But the person who has that, you are losing 7 minutes at a minimum of per cigarette that you smoke from beginning to end. That is not counting putting it out. That's not halving it. It's from beginning to end. And if you count 7 minutes out of your day and you start to look at how much time that actually adds up to, let's be honest. If you smoke 3 cigarettes in a day, you done already lost about a half an hour. In a day. Now, look at all of that seat filling time. If you smoke about 3 cigarettes a day, and I smoked the 10, I smoked up to 10 cigarettes a day. So I lost 70 minutes. 70 minutes. That's an hour and 10 minutes a day I lost to smoking cigarettes. An hour and 10 minutes. And that was on a minimal day. Minimal day. Like real talk, a high impact, a high anxiety, a high concentration day, I very well could go anywhere between 10 to 15 cigarettes in a day. And you do the math. 15 times 7. Poof, what do you need? That's how long, like real talk. Real talk. I'm losing damn near 2.5 hours a day just to an addiction. And then I say I don't have time for the things that I wanted to do because I was operating under being wounded. So when I go back, I'm telling you again, being wounded is waiting on understanding now, devoting excuses diligently. I've been telling y'all, join my courses, okay? So thank you, Blue Daydreams, for coming in, girl. Share with everybody else. I'm giving away a free seat to the March Trauma Goddess class. I will be running the trauma cycles for February and March. In February, we're going to do a Trauma Goddess reboot. And then March, we're going to do the 1.0 course. In that course, I am giving away a free seat. So the March 2022 course, I'm giving away a free seat. The only thing you got to do is go on Chez du Jour after midnight tonight because everything's going to be free shipping and make a purchase. Boom. You entered the win. So as long as you purchase from Chez du Jour, it doesn't matter how big, small, whatever you get, you're entered to win. And I will be doing the drawing on 2/22/22. So I had to break and put that information in there one more again for y'all. All right. So that's how you enter the win. That's how you get the free seat for March. Now, mind you, the course is exclusive. And I'm saying this again. When you're breaking addictions, and addictions don't just have to be about cigarettes. It can be about food. It can be about drinks. It can be coffee. Like there's a lot of different things. Anybody who knows though, know. When you are leaving one addiction, it's very easy to play the replacement game if you're wounded. So a lot of people who haven't made friends with Alcohol Anonymous or Narcotics Anonymous, if you don't know anybody who's had a heroin, a narcotic addiction, an opioid addiction, if you don't know anybody who's had those kind of addictions, I'm going to give you some information right now. A lot of the time, they leave one addiction and replace it with another. Sometimes two more. So if they leave crack alone, now they smoke cigarettes and drink coffee all the time. Because what they did is they were taught to replace the behavior with something that's less harmful. It's called harm reduction. It's cute, right? But it doesn't really deal with the wounded behavior versus the healed behavior. Because again, I started smoking because I wanted to lose weight. I didn't stop smoking after I found out how much time it was taking from me. That's addiction. Like, you got to understand that you don't always start a thing just because you wanted to try it. You saw the benefit in it and then found yourself in long-term use, which is addiction of it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But when you're dealing with the wounded, you're not going anywhere. When you're dealing with wounded, you're waiting on understanding, now devoting excuses diligently. So like I said, I could always come up with a reason why I needed to smoke a cigarette before I did anything. And I had a good ass reason why I needed to finish one, why I needed to start one. And I did not have a good reason why I was screen saving my time with them though. Outside of the fact that I couldn't face what was on the other side. That's the wounded behavior. But now that I'm on the healed side, and people are like, well, how do you know if you're healed from your trauma? Well, let me tell you what healed is one more again. It's handling experiences, acknowledging lessons, exceeding doubts. So it's allowing myself to understand, hey, girl, hey. It's allowing myself, real talk, to understand that I can do better. I have done better and I will continue to perform better. It's giving me the tools back that I already produced, that I thought were dull, that I realized were sharp as a fucking tack. I just wasn't using them right. So let's talk about a few of the tools you may or may not have been using right. Now, let me be honest. Let me be honest. These things work for me. I am sharing them with you. Do not come over here disrespectful because I'm going to return that energy back. I promise you, with a smile. I promise you, because I'm healed. I ain't got time to be dealing with the rocky road or the bullshit. I truly don't. Not at this point, not at this time in this life. It ain't gonna work out for nobody. What we say, Bob nothing out, well, ... is your explanation for 2022. I really hope you understand that, well, ... is your explanation. I'm not getting into no arguments. I'm not doing no power struggling. I'm not dealing with that wounded behavior. I'm not dealing with your offenses. I am going to share my information though. And if you like it, you love it, share it with a friend, subscribe, come on over to the CWC Education Station on YouTube. I have no problem with that. Share the love. Thanks. Okay. So, all right. So moving on with the herb situation. When I was talking about the herbs that you want to use, a lot of people going to be like, for real, if you have these three things in your kitchen, in your pantry, I'm telling you right now, it is easy peasy to kick a nicotine addiction for days. But you really need to mentally kick the addiction. You got to be ready. You gotta be ready, because I'm telling you, if you're not ready, you won't lose your candy on purpose. So I'm telling you again, go to Shade du Jour, get my No Mess Distress tea. It has all of these ingredients plus several more if you don't want to prepare this yourself. But in the meantime, if you do want to prepare this yourself, I'm telling you, remember my point of you replace an addiction with an addiction, but you have to be mindful as to why you have this addiction. Because a lot of people who are narcotic, opioid addicted, they choose coffee as their replacement addiction. Why? They don't fucking know. Somebody just told them it was a good idea. I'm telling you, they don't know. Somebody just told them it was a good idea. Well, let me tell you why it's a good idea. Number one, when you're dealing with coffee, coffee has the ability to change the chemical alterations in the brain. It gives you more happy moments. Why does coffee give you more happy moments? Because the inception of time, everybody remembers the fucking Folgers commercial. Anybody who has a fucking TV remembers the Folgers commercial. Best part of waking up. Go ahead, do-do-do, it's Folgers. And exactly. So, dumb. You were programmed to think that coffee makes you fucking happy. The same way you programmed yourself that cigarette made you happy. Now, don't get mad at me because I called you a dummy. I called me one too. I looked in the mirror and I said, you've been addicted to this shit for 20 years. Now, let's talk about this one more time. Let's talk about it. I don't know where the price of Newports is over there, or where over there, or down there, or up there, but right here, these motherfuckers is $10 a pack this week. $10, they $9.80 some odd cent. $10 a fucking pack, and I was buying 3 packs a week. That's $30 I was trying to figure out how the fuck I didn't have it. What is wrong with that? I've created 3 other businesses surrounding a 20-year fucking addiction, and I didn't even see within my own self, with my own 4 fucking eyes, with the glasses and all, that I was throwing my money out the fucking window, telling myself about being wounded. Yes, I did. This is how I did it, right? Wounded is waiting on understanding, now devoting excuses diligently. I kept telling myself that I needed to smoke this cigarette. Yes, girl, you quit right before they charged them up. Thank you, because I'm telling you, that upcharge made me say, you know what, we're done here. We're done here, and I'm going to share the secret as to why we're done here. I'm telling you, you're absolutely right, because that charge up, let me tell you, that's the bullshit. And then the crazy part about it is, excuse me, as a devoted smoker, I knew when the price hike was coming and I would fucking save for it. Yes, I would log on to the Newport.com website and I would get my little punk ass coupons. So as long as my coupons was rolling in with my 50 cent, my $1.50, my birthday, $2 off. Yeah, I was in there like swimwear. I done saved a couple dollars, okay, this week. Fuck out of here. That is the dumb shit right there. That is the lie. Exactly. 2 to 3 packs a day. I'm like, why? Why am I doing it to myself? But let's also get into what happened though. When you stopped smoking, you also had to replace that addiction. And a lot of people replaced it with food, which is great, right? Because, come on now. Food is the most consistent thing you can get. It's better than fucking people. A French fry tastes like a French fry as long as you know how to cook a fucking French fry. And if you go to a place that don't know how to cook a French fry, you can go to another one, okay? That's how it works around these parts. Or you could tell them, my French fry was not the shit, run me my money back, and you can still go to another place, or you can go home, let me tell you. Exactly. If you got coupons coming for 3 to 4 different kinds of cigarettes, me too. Because let me tell you, sign up for Newports. They were sending Copenhagen. They were sending motherfucking Cools. They were sending whatever the fuck they was coming out for. Yes, and you have to clean up your eating. Absolutely. Because I'm telling you, sis, that's the point I'm getting to right there. A lot of people stop with the addiction, so they replace the actual addiction of the substance. So if I'm not smoking cigarettes, now I'm eating food. The problem is the type of food that you're eating and what you're putting into your body. What you're putting into your body, if you don't put the right things into your body along with kicking the addiction, you are setting yourself up for an unfortunate failure of relapse. That's why I say the relapse and recovery game really is how you tend to beat your drum, how you decide you're going to go about it. Because to be honest, it doesn't need to be that harsh, but you can control it. You can control weight gain and loss through what you're eating and how you're eating it. I'm telling you the truth. You ain't gotta. Yes, and you gotta work on your mind and self. Because like I said, The addiction component, the physical is what you want to focus on, but it really isn't the issue that you have to overcome. It's that mental part. It's that wound. You got to get to the part of the wounded versus the healing. So when I said healing or healed, you're handling experiences, acknowledging lessons, exceeding doubt. You are allowing yourself to know that I can do this shit and I can do it every day, and I can do it every day with a sparkle, and I can make that shit look like different sparkles on the different days because I said so. Because I'm that chick. I'm that dude. I'm that person. I does this shit, right? That's what we do. That's why I encourage you, if you haven't already, please have a seat, come on in, take the class, because I'm telling you, it's worth it. Having these different things of encouragement. If I didn't have my goddess commandments, I probably would not have made it through this particular relapse and recovery as fast as I did. I'll be honest. I quit smoking once before, several years ago. And the reason for me to pick it back up is because I lost one of my parents. I know, right? That's really reasonable. That's a good reason to throw 30 days of nicotine-free, no addiction right out the window and go right back into a wounded trauma stance and live life on the other side underneath yourself. That's a really great, no, the fuck it's not. It's not a good delusional reason. It's really not. But when you get to those points, when you start to acknowledge that trauma, when you start to see it's not a good reason to keep your addiction going, it's not a good reason to keep you thriving in the addiction, then you now have the power to be healed of it. But now when you're healing yourself of it, you still have to put things in your body that promotes the healing. And these are just the 3 things. I'm getting to it, okay? I think I done talked long enough. I don't know how long it's been, but I'm going to get to it. 3 things, finally, right? 3 things. The first thing is some ground cinnamon. Ground cinnamon. Ground cinnamon. Ground cinnamon. Ground cinnamon. Second thing, and y'all see my shit is going empty, okay? Ginger. Now listen, I am not a label hog. I don't give a fuck which kind. Just make sure ground cinnamon, ginger, and let me tell you, the muscle diva, the motherfucking Ace Boone Coon killer ill, okay? If you don't know this nigga, get him in your closet today. Ground nutmeg. Ground nutmeg. These 3 things, I kid you not. Kid you not. Ground nutmeg. Those 3 things have been on the list of kicking addiction since the time has been. Since time has been. They are the most effective way to be able to curb the appetite, keep the blood flowing, keep your levels down and consistent, as well as de-escalate and elevate mood. You don't have to drink coffee and you don't have to drink tea. You can actually add these 3 things together in their own little spice together, and you can cook with it. You heard me. Cook with it. Add those 3 things to your chicken with some Lowry's and go ahead and, I'm trying to tell you, a little bit of rosemary. You have no fucking idea that you can literally organically trick your body into receiving the benefits of the food that you are now indulging in because of the lack of addiction. Let me tell you, I just had this conversation with cousin earlier, okay? I ate motherfucking French toast for 4 days after my addiction started. Ended. I said started, ended. So when my very first week, like that first Sunday, that Monday, right after my last cigarette, all the way up till Friday, I was eating motherfucking French toast. Yeah, I was. Every day in the morning. Every day. Cinnamon, ground nutmeg, and ginger. Sorry. Ginger. So I was putting those 3 ingredients in everything. So from the ground beef to the steak to the chicken, you can even use it on pork. It brings the flavor out. I unfortunately went way too far and made peppered bacon with the sugar and ate way too much of that shit and gave myself pork poisoning. But that's not the point. I told you, that's not the fucking point. Gave myself pork poisoning, but I did it because I was able to rectified. Apparently, I had to go live and tell y'all about how I nearly fucked up myself in the game, eating too much goddamn pork, trying to overcome a goddamn addiction. Hey, Daenerys, how you doing? Trying to overcome a fucking addiction when I should have just paid attention to my 3 favorite things, and that's when I started to pay attention. At some point, you go from wounded to healed. I was wounded. I hurt myself eating that goddamn bacon. And let me tell you, all you need is some black pepper and some sugar. Make sure you bake that shit all the way through, okay? Don't be rushing it. Get a good crisp on it, okay? Best. Yo, I remade Dunkin' Donuts snack and bacon. Don't tell nobody. Don't tell nobody. I fucked myself up for 3 days eating that shit. Don't tell nobody. And after I fucked myself up for 3 days eating that shit, I realized that me and my nicotine addiction had to break the fuck up. Yes. If you've ever had a nicotine addiction, let me tell you. Let me tell you. That shit is not cool. It's not cool at all. Especially when you decide that you're going to get sick. And when you're getting sick, your body's trying to produce the mucus that it needs in order for things to come out and expel itself naturally. And it can't, because when you smoke cigarettes, what they forget to tell you is that you kill all of that shit in your throat that produces that. And in doing that, it's really harsh and it fucking hurts like hell. And now you end up with all types of problems. Oh, yeah, girl. I ain't break up with mine for the new year. It was before the new year. I didn't even mean to. I did it on accident. But apparently my relapse and recovery dance is over. I'm done. My body said, we're done here. And this is the 3 things that you need to keep it going. So when I was talking about it, I'm dead ass serious. So you need ground cinnamon. I showed again. You need ginger. And you need my Ace Boone Cone. The nigga on the street. The ground nutmeg or actual nutmeg, however you want to chop and screw it. You can add those 3 things to your food. So if you are kicking a nicotine addiction, and yes, I'm trying to tell you, even the tobacco wraps, you absolutely right. That you still have to be mindful as well, because if you don't know, I tell you, they got a little film inside that still has the nicotine paper in it. On top of that, the inside of the paper. So if you're not smoking natural leaves or hemp leaf or raw papers that are made from hemp, then you are 9 times out of 10 smoking a nicotine soaked wrap. Yeah, because instead of just putting it in the tobacco, because you said you're not going to buy the tobacco, right? They said, oh, y'all going to just buy the wraps? Well, a lot of the brown wraps are created with the nicotine in the paper. So even though you're not using the actual cigarette, you're still very much partaking in a nicotine addiction. Hence why a bunch of people stopped doing the pre-rolled Marleys and all of that. But I will tell you that if you're getting the hemp ones, then you're doing a better service to yourself. Absolutely. See, I be doing the research a little bit. I be minding everybody's business. I'm everybody's favorite cousin. I got to know. But when you're dealing with the addiction as well, you can also use coffee. So the other thing is I'm not an avid coffee drinker. I had a stressful moment. I need to use this to balance out my mood. What a lot of people don't realize is coffee is actually a mood stabilizer. So those who have learned to rely on the stabilization of coffee, i.e. need to have a cup every fucking morning, I encourage you to get like a coffee creamer that's pumpkin spice, cinnamon roll. And if you don't want to go down the list of flavors, add again cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger to it. Definitely stop the use of backwoods. They dip the leaf of the backwood in nicotine. So the leaf of the backwood and the tobacco in the backwood have nicotine. So you want to be careful with those. Definitely stop those. I would say as much as we enjoy backwoods, you're better off just rolling a eucalyptus leaf or some shit like real talk. You're better off going outside and just getting your own vegetation and making it happen. You really are. The hemp wraps do get a little dry. I ain't gonna disagree with that, but you can also look look with the hemp wraps though. Let me tell you. So you're supposed to store them in a cool place. You're not supposed to allow air to get to them after you open them. So what I suggest is with a hemp wrap, you add just a little bit of H2O to your package when you reseal it if you're not smoking them back to back. That's all I got. Listen, I'm everybody's cousin. I knows all the business. Everybody's cousin. Yeah, the hemperillos. You can definitely use those. Definitely. Otherwise, like I say, just kick it with the raw papers. They even make the rolling devices that you can order. As a matter of fact, Erykah Badu got a whole goddamn set that comes with the papers, the rolling device, the grinder, and it's all made of bamboo and shit. I was like, oh, this is cute. So if you don't know, go on her website and see about that. But yeah, the hemp wrap, the hemperillos. But if you're using the wraps that don't have tobacco in them, still be mindful that those hemp wraps still have nicotine traces in them. So you might be better off just going with the straight raw papers and leaving it at that. Or I'll be honest with you, it was never really meant to be smoked as a cigarette. You might want to go ahead and do what we call the environmentally friendly way and get you a glass or ceramic smoking device, or have one made. Do not use resin. It's not a great idea. It's as dumb as smoking out of aluminum foil. That's all I got. And I'm only sharing this secret because my relatives are fun. But a red delicious apple, yeah. You can definitely use all of Mother Nature. You can definitely use. So if you happen to live in a place where apples literally fall from the tree, you got a perfect bong right there. I'm just putting it out. And it comes with great fiber. I'm trying that, but go ahead and use those, because to be honest, the papers aren't doing any better service. Yes, it helps with portability, and with COVID, it's not exactly the best way, because now the whatever it is, saliva is stuck in the wrapper and you done passed it mouth to mouth. So whatever. You could do the smoker environmental friendly. Absolutely. It affects your phlegm real bad. And you can tell the difference. Like, for a person who's on the other side of addiction, you can definitely tell the difference in how your mucus was and what it is now. And it definitely goes through a transition. It takes, in order to kick an addiction, I guess I didn't get to that part. In order to kick an actual addiction, it takes about 21 days to literally just be done with the addiction. It takes 21 days for your body to literally stop craving the thing that was killing it. However, it takes consistency of 3 months, of 90 days, in order to keep it and maintain it as a lifestyle. So if you made it through your first 14 days like I did, salute yourself, do a live video, tell niggas how they did it. But keep going with your consistency and alternate your plan throughout the day. I cannot start every day with French toast. However, I did tell you that this ninja right here, you add this to some waffle mix. Now we got 2 different breakfasts a bitch can eat all day. Let's get it. I got snacks on deck. So if I'm feeling like real talk, when you're suffering from nicotine addiction and you're really trying to kick it, if you don't notice, a lot of people crave the sweets. They go for the apple pies, the peach cobblers, the sweet potato pie, pumpkin pie. Why? Because all of those things have nutmeg in them as an ingredient. They have cinnamon in them as an ingredient. And if you got it from a box store, 9 times out of 10, there's ginger in it as well, just in the crust as a preservative. You want to be mindful that when you're using those 3 things, that they really do help, but store-bought doesn't always work. So having those things that you can just sprinkle into your cup, or have a tea that you can brew with it, or even putting it in your meat. Because again, when you start to cook with it, and I'll be honest, you add garlic, black pepper, seasoning, salt, you can't taste these ingredients on your meats. You really can't. And because you can't taste the ingredients on your meats, it helps you to keep yourself healthy as well. You are now promoting low blood pressure. You're promoting low sugar, anything additional that you take in overconsumption. So a lot of people who break addictions tend to overconsume. So they go from drinking bottles of water to 6 bottles of Pepsi maybe. Or they don't go straight to Pepsi, they go to the juices. And when they go down the juice line, it becomes too acidic. So they go, absolutely, your kitchen should definitely be a cauldron. If your kitchen ain't no cauldron, you in the wrong practice. If your kitchen ain't no cauldron, you in the wrong practice. You should definitely have your kitchen as a like. There are some main like I can't emphasize those 3 things enough. Forget being an alchemist. I'm not a professional chef, but I will tell you, in the research in these books, the herb book, Healing Herbs, the Encyclopedia Herbs. Yes, I read my books. I had them next to me. With my books, y'all, let me tell you, those 3 main ingredients are the best things. Absolutely. Cinnamon, nutmeg are the top ingredients for waffle batter. Absolutely. And if you add a few extra sprinkles to that, now you have an addiction fighting food. And it's still very much healthy for you. And you're not overdoing it. So absolutely, your kitchen should definitely be your biggest cauldron. There's no good reason why, as a goddess, as a god, that you are not attacking your addictions with food first, and then hitting it with the mental and emotional capacity. If you start changing the way you cook with those 3 ingredients, it can definitely keep your mood swings down. It can keep your health down. So a lot of people don't realize that when you're going through a nicotine addiction, there is also what we call detox. You also go through fucking withdrawal, and that shit is just as real as heroin and crack. I kid you not. It fucking sucks. It hurts like hell. It's a physically demanding thing. And if you do not have an opportunity to really take the time to mentally decompress, to have somebody who's telling you, like myself, that there is a on the other side, not a over it, not through it. There's a on the other side of it. You can reclaim your time back, your money back. If you can't see those benefits while you going through that shit, then I'm telling you, you're going to be right back at it the same way I was in 30 days. You're going to find another good reason to be under that wounded behavior. You're going to find a way to come up with that $9.80-something. You're going to find another way to bum that cigarette. You're going to find a way to smoke that black and mild. Because I'll be honest with you, if you left a nicotine addiction from cigarettes and you go to cigars, you are not doing you any favors. Absolutely. It starts right there. You gotta fit mentally into those spots, because I'm telling you, right. You're right. Because you have to understand that when you're breaking an addiction, whether it be nicotine, whether it be food, whether it be people, whether it be circumstantial, when you start to really identify your wounds, that's when shit gets really real. And you have to focus on your healing. And a lot of the time, what people don't realize is aromatherapy is a must. If I can sit through a day and I can just smell fresh baked good out of a cup, that gives me my happy moment, and I can reposition and I can get that shit done. And the 7 minutes I would have lost to a cigarette, I can use and perform it a lot better. I can make something else happen. I can give the education that I was supposed to give. Wait, what you mean lose skin in general? Wait, hold on. Oh, yes, it do. Yeah, it do. Okay, so let me tell you some fun facts about smoking. You're right. Oh, gosh. So, number 1, smoking cigarettes helps you to lose your sense of smell. Number 2, it helps you to go deaf. It also helps your skin to, what's the word? Degenerate. It also helps your teeth to break down. It also creates halitosis. Yes, it creates it. It has nothing to do with the fact that whether or not your breath stank before you started smoking. It actually creates fucking halitosis for you. You're welcome. It also helps with hair loss. It also controls your vision. Yes, your vision. You can start having fucked up vision because you stopped smoking. Why? Nicotine actually is an inhibitor in your eyes. Yeah, your eyes, right? Your eyes. And a lot of people don't realize that smoking was a hand-in-hand type of thing. If you smoke marijuana, you smoke cigarettes. If you drink alcohol, you smoke cigarettes. Well, guess what marijuana and alcohol do? They deteriorate your eyes. But as long as you're smoking a cigarette, you cannot see that clearly because mentally you are seeing what you want. Yes, I know, it's crazy as fuck. You can lose elasticity in your skin. Thank you, De Niro Barbie. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's slow motion crack like a motherfucker. It is. It does so much. As a matter of fact, nicotine causes acne. Yo, it doesn't just cause asthma. It's not just asthma. It's emphysema. It's not just cancer. It's actually bone deteriorating cancer. Like, there is so much. Exactly. But this is the catch-22. After you stop smoking, your body hurts. I know, ain't nobody talking about this shit. Everybody be like, oh my gosh, you should quit smoking. Well, as the bitch who did the research 10 years ago before she actually fucking quit, and my only thought process was simply this, because people will always be like, oh my gosh, you should quit smoking. You should stop smoking. I'm not going to quit smoking. Why? Because sometimes the effects of actually quitting are worse, are worse than living with the addiction. I know we be trying to get mad at people for shit. Let me tell you, sometimes the effects of quitting are worse than living with the actual fucking addiction. So, some people cannot live with loss of hearing, vision, hair, taste, smell, a lot of senses. Why? Because when you take that drug out of your body has nothing to replace it with. You heard me. You took the drug out of your body. Your body has nothing to replace it with. Hence why I said, hey, our three homies here. These are muscle generating herbs. These are regenerative herbs. These are herbs that help to get you back to a homeostasis. It cannot correct all of the damage, but it can definitely put some shit back in. Absolutely. Absolutely. Squares are bad for your bones. I'm telling you, it's bad. They say weed is a gateway drug. That's a fucking lie. Newport, Coles, motherfucking Copenhagen, all the tobacco companies, those are the gateway motherfucking drugs. I kid you not. Kids have more access to a pack of fucking cigarettes in a person's house than they do an opioid or illicit drug. And that's just being 110. Your mother would not realize that you took 2 cigarettes out of her pack unless she only had 2 in that bitch. And if you had a mom like my mom, she already had a carton in the freezer. So it didn't fucking phase her. So those couple cigarettes that I was taking just to prove a point was my gateway drug to everything else. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful. Yeah. So if smelling cigarettes makes your stomach hurt, get together with the ginger and the nutmeg specifically. You don't necessarily have to have the cinnamon, but the ginger and the nutmeg specifically will definitely give you an opportunity to deal with the nauseated feeling. On top of that, if you want to, you can put it in like a cloth, and you can literally just have it as a huffing agent. And I know it sounds crazy, but I'm trying to tell you, back in the day, they used to carry handkerchiefs for that reason. They carried handkerchiefs for that reason, and they were soaked in the scents of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger for that reason. Why? Because we were some funky ass people before we got a sewer system. And you needed something to keep you from throwing up walking down the street. So yeah, if you were the type of person like I was, just testing it out because it's the cool thing to do. Let's be honest. There hasn't been one action movie where the hero didn't fucking smoke cigarettes. Even if he was a superhero, that nigga smoked. Like every movie, I kid you not, there isn't one actor that has not played a cigarette smoking hero. Whether he was a normal hero or a supernatural hero, they all smoked. And when you think about it, smoking's supposed to be for the people who win. So before you go into a battle, you smoke a cigarette. If you about to die, you smoke a cigarette. That's what you're taught. That's the media addiction. Exactly. I'm trying to tell you, smoking. Listen, the world was thinking it was. Yes, sis. Cigarettes are the gateway drug that they're trying to convince us not to use. And that's the craziest shit. So let me tell you, that's how you can break the addiction from it. I personally use all of my methods throughout the day, starting with breakfast. Breakfast has to have those 3 ingredients in it. Now, do I have to taste it? No. I have to see myself sprinkling it in there the same way I had to see the skinny bitch with the cigarette. Same correlation. It helps me to understand that I'm promoting my health, my wellness, my healing. So as I'm sprinkling my few sprinkles, I'm promoting within myself the mental energy that I'm going to keep me well. I'm still going to be better on the outside, on the other side of this shit, not just going through it. Does that make sense? All right, y'all. Because listen, I meant to go ham. I meant to show up yesterday for this. But talk about it Tuesday on a Wednesday. That's what happens. That's what happens. And I'm thankful for all of y'all showing up and coming through for me. But you're right. The cigarettes were the symbol of female liberation. And unfortunately, we're still very much not liberated. How the fuck did that happen? How'd that happen? How'd that happen? We had several whole ass movements. We done saved all of these fucking lives. And how in the fuck are we still very much slaves to addiction? They definitely stopped putting the cigarettes in commercials, but they only stopped putting them in commercials because they were allowed to be in movies. There was a point before the commercial advertisement that cigarettes were not allowed to be portrayed in movies. It had to only be a male character smoking them, specifically in the black and white movies. I was a nerd. I paid attention to cinematic review. I really did. I did. So when you look at the way humans have started to behave, and thank you for helping me go down this rabbit hole. When you look at the way humans have started to behave, they had to start to they had to promote the addiction where your brain was receiving it. And it's that simple. Even electronic cigarettes now, those are now legal. Do you remember all of the Truth commercials when they first started it? When electronic cigarettes first came out, when they first started to promote them, when they first started to show them in movies, when they first started to come out with the commercials, there were also anti-commercials that were coming out telling you the harmful effects of this liquid that you're huffing that the FDA has no fucking approval over, still has no fucking approval over. And on top of that, there's a million different flavors, and they figured out how to liquidate THC. And that shit's legal in almost every state. But God forbid we have a real conversation about the real gateway drug, right? God forbid we have a conversation about why you're told you should still remain wounded instead of being healed. God forbid that I get 100,000 views on a video that talks about how you can literally correct your life using 3 ingredients you can pick up from the damn Dollar Tree. God forbid, right? They don't smell as bad as cigarettes, but let me tell you, those electronic cigarettes hurt way worse than cigarettes do because of the ingredients that are in them. There is nothing natural about a manufactured product, period. As a matter of fact, even if you are rolling your own cigarettes, there is nothing natural about your manufactured product unless you know the person who owns the tobacco farm. Watch them dry out the tobacco leaf, watch them break it up and crumble it into another leaf. You are not getting a natural not shit. So even if you're smoking a wrap, If you smoking a paper, just because that bitch say natural, if you flip it over and it's manufactured in South Carolina, North Dakota, China, that shit ain't natural. Exactly. You almost died because, let's be honest, we don't know what other agents are in there. People forget the fact that they're talking about 0.5 milligrams of pure nicotine and the rest of that. And if you really look at milligrams or micrograms, I should say, it should be micrograms. If you look at the MCGs, the micrograms, the 0.5 of exactly how much that is, that's less than an actual drop from an actual dropper. The rest of that shit is a binding agent and it's killing you on purpose. It ain't got shit to do with an accident. What they did was they transformed your addiction. They just told you instead of spending $10 on cigarettes, you can spend $5.50 on this little plastic pipe and use your free electricity and you can huff on that. But let me tell you, in 10 years, you done huffed yourself into holes in your lung because of the binding agents. Instead of using 3 things that grow naturally, 3 things that they've already ground into a powder, 3 things that were less, like real talk, way less on a weekly and monthly basis. Instead of you using your common sense, they're telling you to go ahead and act out of that wounded place. Go ahead and make those decisions. Go ahead and continue to just smoke these electronic cigarettes. Go ahead and continue to act out of addiction. And I'm telling you, that's not going to work. So if you understand addiction, here we go. It's allowing demeaning, delusional, inconsistent concerns to interfere, owning now. Those electronic cigarettes, regular cigarettes, are taking minutes off of your life every time you decide to smoke one from beginning to end. 7 minutes to be in the moniker of a window if you wanted a real window. It takes 7 minutes to smoke a Newport 100. 7 minutes. And you multiply that by 10. And if you say there's only 20 cigarettes in a pack. And for those of us who were up to 2 and 3 packs a day, can you imagine losing that kind of time? Like, real talk. Absolutely. Even with the hookah, that's now the hookah is a whole different kind of tobacco. People don't even mention that. The hookah tobacco is wet and sticky. And then they have to sit a coal on top of it. Like, let's keep that shit a buck bean. The hookah tobacco that we use over here is not the shit that we're supposed to be smoking. Again, the hookah will fucking ruin your life. You absolutely right. Because if you look at and I'm telling you, for the chick who did the research, let's talk about it. We all chose nicotine, but we did not realize that there's more carcinogens in weed than there is in nicotine. And because we were doing both, we were actually doubling, quadrupling our chances of creating cancer in our body. Yeah. Whose mom didn't tell them that? Because mine sure as hell died from it. She didn't tell me. Okay. We were quadrupling our chances. So we started smoking cigarettes. Then we turned around and transitioned into marijuana. And then some of us gave up the marijuana and continued the cigarettes for the professional realm. And then some of us said, fuck the professionalism and gave up the cigarettes and continue with the marijuana. But when we talked about it, and when we talked about it earlier, even if you look at your device of smoking, you are still doubling and quadrupling, which means you're still doing the recovery and relapse dance. Pay attention. Pay attention. All it is a wounded play. All they're doing is telling you to just pay attention to other delusional things right now. Give up your time. Use a screensaver. Instead, do yourself several favors and just get a mood stabilizer. Make you a cup of tea, drink you some coffee, add a couple sprinkles to your food, make a couple snacks, and use your time wiser. You can make a bomb-ass motherfucking snack out of a waffle and some maraschino cherries real quick. Okay? And it only takes you the same 15 minutes of what it took if you'd have walked your ass to the store for a pack of cigarettes. As a matter of fact, the waffle and the maraschino cherry homemaking situation And yes, you can sniff some peppermint. I forgot to add peppermint in there. That's why I say you can go to my, look, you can go on the website. I'm telling you, I got it. So what I'm about to do, right, is I'm more than likely going to make a break the nicotine addiction tea. We gonna see. We gonna see. It's already in the works. But in the meantime, you can get the No Mess to Stress tea, and that tea in itself has all of the mood stabilizers in it. It definitely has the ginger, cinnamon, and nutmeg in it, and actually has the fresher portions of the herbs in it. Hey, bless, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? So yes, you can make your own little satchels. As a matter of fact, if you would like me to make you a sniffing satchel, it goes right in under consultation. So you can put that in there, and it's a protection satchel. But obviously, if you receive it, it'll be your special sniffing satchel just for you. So put your comments, cigarette breaking, stomach, whatever satchel, whatever you might need, and I'll get right back to you. But I want to make sure I'm very, very clear. When you're dealing with breaking addiction, the most important thing that you have to deal with is the wounded versus the healed. Hey, sis, when you're wounded, you are waiting on understanding, now devoting excuses diligently. You will always find a way to actively stay in your addiction behavior as long as you're wounded. But when you're healed, you are handling experiences, acknowledging lessons, exceeding doubts. You are seeing the other side. You are living on the other side. You are placing tools for your success on that side. You are actively using what you know. You are doing better. So let me tell you, if you don't know, get you some ground cinnamon, get you some ginger, get you my home diggity dog right here, some nutmeg. You can make you whatever the fuck you need to make with all of these three things. You can just add it to your coffee in the morning if you are one of those coffee pot type of people and you have the open coffee pot. You can sprinkle a dash of one of each right over top of your coffee grounds. Best tasting coffee. It also helps with digestion. Oh yes, definitely catch you later, sis. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. So I want you to sprinkle that with your coffee. Otherwise, you can get my No Mess to Stress tea, or you can add it to your actual tea bags. Just add, again, a sprinkle to the cup. That'll help with the addiction. Now, if you're dealing with nauseousness and people walking past you, the aroma with it, you can definitely just get you a piece of cloth, get you a little bit of a hanky. You can sprinkle those three on and dust it off if you need to, just like this. And now you got your huffing rag. Yes, we keep it close and near and dear to our heart, girl. I'm trying to tell you, there are more than one way. Absolutely. I ain't no damn doctor. Thank you. I ain't no doctor. Hold on. Not a doctor. I read books. I got this. The information in which I've disclosed in this live does not make me a medical professional. It does make me a bitch that knows how to read. I read books, okay? I read a lot of books on a lot of different things on purpose to find the best possible way for shit to work for me. Thank you, Vibe. Let me be clear, not a doctor. However, I read books, okay? On purpose. And I mark the chapters that I need to go back to on purpose. That's the purpose of it. I wanted to share this journey with y'all. I have been 17 days. Yes. So I restarted. I've already kicked my addiction once before, but this is a 20-year. I'm done here for real this time. And it's not about breathing better. It really was about that mental clarity. It really is about on the other side of my journey. It really is about being healed versus wounded. It really is understanding that I've reached my weight loss goal. And now that I've reached my goal, I found out that my addiction didn't even serve the purpose of the fucking goal. Let's keep that a bean. I reached my goal and my addiction didn't even serve the purpose of the goal. I had the addiction for 20 years, and even with the addiction, it did not assist me with my goal. It actually limited me from achieving my goal faster because of the time that I allowed it to screen save. So thank you so much. Share this live. See me over at the CWC Education Station on YouTube. All right, y'all. I'll be seeing you. Yes. Can I have a snack?